All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we're going to talk about Gervonta Davis's opponent, Lamont Roach, and a confrontation that took place between he and Gary Russell Jr., which in my opinion is everything that is right about boxing and something that we should celebrate. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we are going to talk about Gary Russell Jr., who is going full stop at Lamont Roach to try to get a fight with Lamont Roach at 135 pounds. Lamont Roach has a little bit of Hollywood attitude about the whole thing. And we definitely should talk about it because that is what is really positive about boxing. And this is a fight, win or lose I don't care if Lamont Roach beats Gervonta Davis or if he loses to Gervonta Davis in a rematch, or if the rematch doesn't take place, none of that should have any bearing on whether or not Lamont Roach should fight Gary Russell Jr. And there's a very, very obvious reason for it. Now, before I get into the details, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so we can be notified, or you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you guys so much for your continued support. It really makes a huge difference to the channel, especially to the people that tip their hats in the super thanks. But let's get into this, man. There's a lot of talk in boxing about how boxing is a global sport. It is my opinion that is a euphemism for we want to divide all the money up in boxing in the United States and give it to a bunch of foreign fighters and take the center of boxing out of the United States and move it to somewhere in Saudi Arabia or in Europe. Something that has been attempted for probably since about 1960, since the WBC broke off from the WBA. Anyway, boxing did not become great because of all of these international matchups. They became great because of fights like Lamont Roach and Gary Russell Jr., Lamont Roach and Gary Antoine Russell, Gervonta Davis. And why is that? Because they are all from the same area called Washington, D.C. That is how you make a terrific, terrific fight. When you have natural rivalries based off the location of the people and the demographics of the people. There's no doubt in my mind that the reason that Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach's fight was as entertaining as it was is because they were very familiar with each other. They had sparred each other. They had fought in the amateurs against each other. It makes for a specific type of competition when you have somebody that has a great amount of familiarity with you, and styles actually will meld and work well together because they're from the same area. And I think that's what you saw in the fight with Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach. Now, that's going to also be the case for Gary Russell Jr. and Lamont Roach, or Gary Russell Jr. and Gervonta, any mixture of those guys, because they are all highly skilled people from the same area, and you're going to get a lot of interest in that area for the sport of boxing. And that trickles down not just to the fight, beyond just the fighters that are fighting in the ring that day, to the kids that are sitting in the gyms that are getting free tickets to the fights, that are getting excited about the high level, world-class level fights being able to be put on by people in their own hometowns. The whole, concept that metal sharpens metal, or steel sharpens steel, or iron sharpens iron. That's what I think you get when you have these guys fighting each other and fighting each other on a very, very big stage. So I'm not really trying to hear Anything from Lamont Roach, as far as Lamont saying, no, I don't want to fight Gary Antoine Russell. I don't want to fight Gary Russell Jr. If anything, I would fight Gary Antoine Russell. That's the only guy that I would fight. Okay, first of all, Lamont, you're not in a position to be telling people who you're going to fight and who you're not going to fight. No joke. If you can get a fight with Gary Russell Jr., you should take that fight with Gary Russell Jr. That's going to be the biggest fight that you can get outside of Tank. If you can get the fight with Gary Antoine Russell, okay, you're going to have to move up to 140 pounds and get a shot at a title in order to earn that, right? Because Gary Antoine Russell is right in the middle of a weight division that is very, very deep and is looking to get a unification fight off in that division. Lamont Roach probably is not in the running right off the bat for Gary Antoine Russell. But for Gary Russell Jr., man, put that fight at the, what is that, the Capital City? What is that, the Cap Center in Washington, D.C.? Please forgive me if I get the name of the arena wrong. But the one where Gervonta Davis had fought. And who did he fight in D.C.? He fought in D.C. Maybe it was Hector Garcia. He might have fought Hector Garcia in D.C. and set that record in D.C. But yeah, man, having Gary Antoine Russell and Gary Russell Jr. and Lamont Roach, that is an absolutely huge fight for that area, and something that Lamont Roach should not be trying to pshaw at. Now, on the other note, though, Lamont Roach, I think going into this fight with Gervonta Davis has got a very, very big, runs a very, very big risk because he thinks he won that fight. I don't think that Lamont Roach won that fight against Gervonta Davis. I thought it was a close fight. I scored that fight for Gervonta Davis. And I do believe that 10-9, that round where he took the knee, I still believe that was given by some of those judges to Lamont Roach. And that fight, the outcome of that fight would not have changed based on that knee. Or maybe Gervonta would have picked up the pace even more and really kind of went at Lamont Roach and could have pulled out more rounds towards the end. But whatever the case is, I don't think it's necessarily that safe for Lamont Roach to have an attitude like Gervonta Davis is easy money. You know, I'm coming off of a robbery draw. Man, look, man, you're not the famous guy you're not in the position of power that he thinks that he is. And honestly, man, if Gervonta Davis just switched the light off on the guy and decided to fight somebody else, man, it would be a very, very big hit for Lamont. So I think Lamont should definitely, honestly, I believe he's going to fight Gervonta Davis. I don't think that there's going to be an issue with that. I think that they are going to have that fight. It's just a matter of when in the fall that they're going to have the fight. But moving forward, man, Lamont Roach should fight Gary Russell Jr. That would be a terrific, terrific fight. Gary showed what he got left in the tank and that he's still a special fighter. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.